Welcome to Average People in Average Cars, the virtual talk show where I, your host, William Kane, will walk you through professions that you, the average person, should take up to make better than average money. Last week on the show, we talked about astronauts. This week, we're going to talk about something a little more badass. No, not pilots, but air traffic control, the ones that keep them in the air. Be sure to buckle up and get ready to learn about air traffic control. This week's episode, we're going to be highlighting a specific air traffic controller. Many people know him as a god. Some people know him as a friend. I, however, know him as Michael Ball. We were lucky enough to get in touch with this Michael Ball. And let me tell you, the man's a real hoot. We asked him a couple questions about his job, about how he got to where he was in his job, and every answer failed to disappoint. Now, like many people in the aviation community, Mr. Ball, in fact, started in the military. He signed up for the military when he was 18 and initially went in for some electronical services bullshit. I can, however, confirm that after 4 years, he re-signed to go to aviation tech school to be air traffic control. Well, looky there. We pulled up to our first pond. You guys know what that means. Fishing break, yes, but also time for our rapid question and answer section of this entire project. Let's get to fishing. As I'm walking through the pond, I come across this handsome fellow.
Oh my goodness.
A fellow acquaintance of Michael Ball. Please, sir, tell us your name.
Hi, my name is Brant Lennox, and I'm stoked to be here.
Tell me, how do you know Michael Ball?
Michael Ball, what a guy. He was my he was my ATC teacher. Crazy world.
What a coincidence. It's truly a small world we live in. And now time for the actual rapid questioning. So, when we asked Mr. Ball if he was the breadwinner, he simply responded with, if by breadwinner you mean make the most money? For sure I do. However, unless he wanted hit with a frying pan over the head, he doesn't use the term at his house. So, we asked him how many kids he has. After brief hesitation, trying to remember, he responded with 2. He has a daughter who's a sophomore at IU, and he has a son who's a junior at Purdue. Too good for us, making way too much money. So, next question. What car does he drive? Well, he has multiple. However, his play car, his go-to, is his baby, Nissan 370Z. Last 2 questions. When did he take up teaching, and when did he go back to get his master's to be able to go teach? Well, he got his master's in 2004. However, it did take him until 2011 because he had to pace himself. He did come to teach at ISU at 2012 and has been there ever since, making pocket change just because he makes too much at his regular job. Now that we know a bit about Mr. Ball himself and his family life, let's get into the reason we're really here. How to make the big bucks. So, I asked him, what was training like in the military, and what jobs did you specifically hold after this training? Because everyone knows you got to go through a decent amount of training if you want to make good money, because if you don't, it's probably a pyramid scheme. So, he first worked in Pensacola, Florida at a tower, and then moved on to 2 more towers before moving on to a ship as an air traffic controller. This is all fun and everything, but nobody makes great money in the military. So after the military, he moved on to where the money's really at, civilian ATC. So post-military, Mr. Ball went to get his bachelor's degree. After he finished his bachelor's, he applied for ATC jobs, which he did finally get one when he was 29 years old, which is just 1 year away from the maximum age you can be to get into air traffic control. Now, it probably did help that he had the 9+ years in active military and the 2 years in the reserve. And for the next section, we're going to go to our next average person in this very average car. Brant Lennox.
Hey guys, so where did you go immediately after the military? He says I went back to school to finish my bachelor's degree, and then I applied for ATC jobs. He worked at Fort Rucker Army Base as a civilian air traffic controller for the Department of the Army. Now, what led you there? Oh man, we all know it was the triple B, but he says otherwise. The triple B being bitches, bros, and beer. Yeah, but he says he went there because they were the first to hire him out of the military. Yeah, okay. And he had to get, hired before the cutoff line at 30, which he was 29. What was the progression through the civilian ATC like? Well, after the military, he said he worked at Fort Rucker, Alabama, and then went to the Department of Air Force, where he worked Homestead, Florida, at Homestead ARB as a controller. Don't know what that is. Then I think I'd hired at any center and have been there ever since.
So, we move on to the next questions. The negatives of air traffic control. Now, we all know we're really not here for the family time. We're here for the money. But just in case, we asked Mr. Ball, does it get in the way of family? Well, since this is shift work, it's going to get in the way. You got some real bad hours. Now, granted, once you get seniority, of course, you can pick the good hours, but it's never consistent, and it can really mess with your sleep schedule. Now, he claims that he has no resentment of his family members built up to him just because, he may have missed major family events, sketchy stuff like that. But I believe him when he says that the family does get used to the fact that you don't always get to pick the best hours. Now, another negative, does this get in the way of vacation time? The real important stuff. Well, he says that air traffic controllers, at least in Indy Center, get to handpick they bid their vacation time. This is done up to a year in advance, so if you're kind of the spontaneous kind of guy that likes to get up and leave, this ain't the job profession for you. This bidding allows you to specifically pick the days that you want off, though, which is kind of nice because you can bid a specific week in summer to, go to your vacation house in like Cancun because you'll be making a mad bank, or a lake house in Tennessee, or whatever you got. There are, however, positives to being air traffic control. That is why it is on this talk show, of course. Brant, would you like to read to us exactly what the Ball himself said about the positives?
Oh, for sure, I would love to. So, some of the perks that involve with ATC is, you get the benefits are amazing. It's extremely unique, which I like, and we get training programs, which we can jump seat twice. Oh my goodness, times a year, and guess what? He also gets paid. That is ridiculous.
Now, my significant other was not quite sure what jump seating was. She thought it was something relating to skydiving. Could you please explain to us what this is, Brandon?
Oh yeah, sure thing. Skydiving. Jump seating is when a company allows another pilot of either the same company or another company to travel on their airlines for free. Just kind of like help them move around and stuff like that if you need training or just want to go somewhere. It's great. It's kind of like a ride along.
You're getting paid as an air traffic controller. Who would have thought it? It's some phenomenal benefits. Now, on to the part where all of our listeners need to really listen. The part where the professional gives advice to the average person who's trying to get into the field. Now, when we asked Mr. Ball about this, he quoted Nike in what is surely a copyright infringement, saying, "Just do it." I can't argue with the man. He says the profession is amazing. He has no benefits. Every once in a while you come across a couple D-bags, the douchebags of the profession, but you find that in every line of work, so might as well make bank while doing it. Another important question that all of our listeners have, I know. Well, what about retirement? How long do I have to stay working? Well, it's government mandated you can't work past 56. That ain't bad. Heck, if I stick working landscaping, I'll be working till I'm 78, so that's all good. Also, Ball, he works pretty hard, I would assume. Never seen him at work, but especially not in the classroom. He's getting out at 50, which is 6 months from now. I'm not saying he's old, but whew. That's our second pond. You know what that means? another fishing break, and time for some more rapid questions. This time of Brant Lennox about Mr. Ball. All right, Mr. Lennox, do you think that air traffic control has treated Mr. Ball right?
Oh, can I tell you what? I bet he's got a banging wife and she's smart and makes some money. That's the first B. The second B, he pretty much likes all of his coworkers, like I said, there's obviously gonna be some of them D-bags, and his students. Oh my goodness, his students, they turn out phenomenal, just amazing.
If I do say so myself.
That's the second B. The third B, woo, he makes enough money to get a lot of alcohol. That's bitches, bros, and beer. Back at it.
What more can you ask for? That's it for average people in average cars. Join us next time for more aviation-related professions. Next week, pilots.